Hello and welcome to another part of this chapter, numerical analysis. In this part we are going to discuss about numerical integration. Suppose we have a definite integral from a to b of the function fx, and sometimes the function is so complicated that we cannot evaluate this integral directly. In that case we evaluate this integral by using numerical approximations. So in this part we shall obtain a formula of numerical approximations by which we shall evaluate this type of integrals, and the formula we shall obtain here is called Gauss-Legendre quadrature formula. So in that case we first break the interval a to b into n equal subintervals of same width. So let us break the interval a to b into n equal subintervals of equal width h by this n plus 1 number of equidistant arguments, which are x0, x1, x2 up to xn, and in general xk equal to x0 plus kh and b minus a equal to nh, the total length of the interval. Now we assume that the functional values at these arguments are known, which we may assume as y0, y1, y2 up to yn. So these are the entries at these arguments. So using these values we shall evaluate the value of this integral. So this is equal to, we may write here a equal to x0 and b equal to xn. So fx dx. Now let us use this transformation u equal to x minus x0 by h, so that d of u equal to dx by h, because x0 is constant. So if we use this transformation, then we find that if we put x equal to x0, then u becomes 0, and if we put x equal to xn, then u becomes xn minus x0 by h, and we know that xn equal to x0 plus nh, so u equal to nh by h, that means u equal to n. So if we use this transformation, then the lower limit converts to 0 and the upper limit is n. Now fx, so if we use this transformation, then f of x becomes x0 plus uh, so it is x0 plus uh, and it is multiplied by dx, and dx equal to h into du, so this is h into du. Now this is equal to h into 0 to n. Now f of x0 plus uh, since the arguments are equidistant, so using the shift operator we may write it shift operator u times on fx0, and it is du. Next we know that shift operator e is equivalent to 1 plus delta, the forward difference operator. So we replace 1 plus delta in place of u. Next we shall expand this. If we expand 1 plus delta to the power u, then we find that this is the expansion, 1 plus u into delta plus u into u minus 1 by 2 factorial into delta square plus the other terms. Next we need to integrate this, and before we integrate we first write u into u minus 1 equal to u square minus u, and we expand this, which is equal to u cube minus 3u square plus 2u and all the remaining terms. If we integrate this, we find that the first few terms are, the integration of 1 is u is u square by 2, and if we integrate this we find u cube by 3 minus u square by 2, and it is multiplied by delta square by 2 factorial, which is 2, and we can easily integrate the remaining terms. Now if we replace the limits, the lower limit is 0 and upper limit is n. So if we replace the limits, we find that this is equal to h into, this is n plus n square by 2 into delta plus n cube by 3 minus n square by 2 into delta square by 2 and the remaining terms of fx0, which can be written as h into, it is n times fx0, and fx0 can be written as y0 because we know that fx0 is equal to y0, plus this is n square by 2 into delta y0, and if we simplify this we find that this is 2n cube minus 3n square divided by 12 delta square y0 and the remaining terms. So here we find that the value of the integral can be found by using y0 and its forward differences. That means by using the entries. So a definite integral can be found by considering its arguments and entries and the forward differences. This formula is known as Gauss-Legendre quadrature formula. So using this formula we can evaluate a definite integral. Now we shall consider some particular cases. In Gauss-Legendre quadrature formula, we break the interval a to b into n equal parts by n plus 1 number of equidistant arguments. Now the question is, what will happen if we consider only 2 points? That means if we consider only one interval. So if we put n equal to 1, then we have only 2 points, namely a equal to x0 and b equal to x1. So we have only 2 points a and b. So we have only 2 arguments x0 and x1, such that x1 equal to x0 plus h. Then we shall obtain the particular form of Gauss-Legendre quadrature formula, and that form will be called trapezoidal rule. Just consider the Gauss-Legendre quadrature formula. So if we put n equal to 1, then we have only 2 arguments x0 and x1. So we have corresponding 2 entries y0 and y1. So with these 2 entries we can evaluate the forward differences up to order 1. So only y0 and delta y0 terms will be there. Delta square y0 and the subsequent forward differences cannot be found, since we have only 2 entries y0 and y1. So only the first 2 terms will be there and all the remaining terms will vanish. So if we put n equal to 1 here, then the 2 terms will be h into y0 plus half into delta y0. So replacing n equal to 1, we find this. This is the particular form of Gauss-Legendre quadrature formula for only 2 arguments. Now if we simplify this, we find that this is h into y0 plus half into delta y0. We know that delta y0 equal to y1 minus y0. So this is equal to h by 2 into y0 plus y1. This particular formula is known as trapezoidal rule. Now since Gauss-Legendre quadrature formula is an infinite series, but in this case we have taken only 2 terms, so all the remaining terms will appear as error. So we shall evaluate the error. So here we denote the error in trapezoidal rule by ET. So error in trapezoidal rule. So by the formula, this is equal to true value. So this is the true value of the integral. This is the integral a to b fx dx. This is the true value minus the approximate value, and this is the approximate value. We have approximated the integral by this. So this is h by 2 into y0 plus y1. Now we replace fx0 and fx1 in place of y0 and y1. If we simplify this and after some lengthy calculation, we shall find that this is approximately equal to minus h cube by 12 into f double dash xi, where xi is a point from x0 and x1. I am skipping this calculation because we need only this expression, the error term, which is approximately equal to minus h cube by 12 into f double dash xi. Next, we consider one more particular form of Gauss-Legendre quadrature formula. This is called Simpson's one-third rule. In this case, we shall consider 3 points, namely x0, x1 and x2. And remember that x0 is equal to a and x2 is equal to b. Actually, we are considering 3 equidistant arguments. So x2 equal to x0 plus 2h and x1 equal to x0 plus h. In this case, we put n equal to 2 because we have 3 arguments and 2 intervals. So in this case, a to b fx dx, this integral is approximated by Gauss-Legendre quadrature formula if we put n equal to 2. Now consider this formula. If we put n equal to 2 here, then this formula is approximately equal to h into 2y0 plus 2 square by 2. So it is 2 into delta y0 plus, if we put n equal to 2 here, then we shall find that this is 1/3 into delta square y0. All the remaining terms will cancel out because we have only 3 arguments, x0, x1, x2. So we have only 3 entries, y0, y1, y2. With these 3 entries, we can calculate the forward differences up to second order. So all the subsequent forward differences are 0. So if we put n equal to 2, then we find this expression. So if we put n equal to 2 in Gauss-Legendre quadrature formula, then we find this expression. We just simplify it. This is h into, it is 2 times y0 plus 2 times, we know that delta y0 is equal to y1 minus y0 plus 1/3 into delta square y0, this is y2 minus 2y1 plus y0. If we simplify this, we find that this is equal to h by 3 into y0 plus 4y1 plus y2. So this is the form of Simpson's one-third rule. So in this case, we approximate this integral numerically by using this formula. So here we have considered first 3 terms. So all the remaining terms will appear as error. So next we evaluate this error. Error in Simpson's one-third rule is equal to true value. This is the true value of the integral minus the approximate value. In Simpson's one-third rule, we approximate the integral by this formula. So this is our approximate value. Next, this is equal to a to b fx dx minus h by 3 into, we may replace fx0 in place of y0 plus 4 times, in place of y1 we replace fx1, and finally in place of y2 we replace fx2. Now if we simplify this and if we use the Taylor series expansion of fx1 and fx2, then after some lengthy calculation, this is approximately equal to minus h to the power 5 by 90 into 4 times derivative of f xi, where xi is any point between x0 and x2. So error in Simpson's one-third rule is approximately equal to minus h to the power 5 by 90. It is multiplied by 4 times derivative of f xi, where xi is a point from x0 and x2. I am skipping the details calculation because we need only this expression. Next we define degree of precision. Actually, degree of precision is defined for some quadrature formula that is used to approximate numerically a definite integral. So this is the definition of degree of precision. A quadrature formula is said to have degree of precision k if it is exact. Exact means the error is 0 for any polynomial of degree k or less, but it is not exact for at least one polynomial of degree k plus 1. So actually a quadrature formula is said to have degree of precision k if we take any polynomial of degree k or less, then the formula is exact. That means the error should be 0 for each case. But if we take a polynomial of degree k plus 1, then the error must be non-zero. So it is not exact for at least one polynomial of degree k plus 1. So if a quadrature formula has degree of precision k, then if we take any polynomial of degree less or equal to k, then the error should be 0. Now we have considered two particular quadrature formula. One is trapezoidal rule and Simpson one-third rule. We have already discussed that for trapezoidal rule, the error ET is approximately minus h cube by 12 into 2 times derivative of fx at the point xi. And for Simpson's one-third rule, the error is approximately minus h cube by 90. It is multiplied by 4 times derivative of fx at the point xi. Now we find that if fx is a polynomial of degree 1 or less, then the error term for trapezoidal rule vanish. So the trapezoidal rule is exact for any polynomial of degree less equal to 1, because if fx is a polynomial of degree 1 or less, then the second time derivative is 0. So the trapezoidal rule is exact for any polynomial of degree less equal to 1. For that reason, the degree of precision for trapezoidal rule is 1. So 1 is the degree of precision of trapezoidal rule. Next we consider Simpson's one-third rule. Here we find that in the error term there is 4 times derivative of fx. So if we take fx as polynomial of degree less equal to 3, then 4 times derivative is 0. So Simpson's one-third rule is accurate. That means the error term is 0 if we take any polynomial of degree less equal to 3. That means Simpson's one-third rule is exact for any polynomial of degree less equal to 3. Therefore, the degree of precision for Simpson's one-third rule is 3. So 1 is the degree of precision for trapezoidal rule and 3 is the degree of precision for Simpson's one-third rule. So with this we complete this part. In the next part we shall consider trapezoidal rule in details. So see you in the next part. Until then, thanks for watching.